Board of Trustees of the Ohio Association of County Boards of DD, and of the Stark County Board of Developmental Disabilities. Dr. Tom Fish of the Nice Honor Center has taken a career-long interest in sibling issues, as many of you know, and helped establish the organization OACBVideos, Special Initiatives by Brothers and Sisters. Bob, who had two older siblings with developmental disabilities, serves as vice chair of that organization. He was kind enough to drive from Northeast Ohio this morning to provide a sibling's perspective. Please welcome him.
Good morning. I had an idea for audience participation. And last time as I stood before the mirror and practiced, it seemed like a great idea because what I want everybody to do is to outstretch their arms. Now, for those who can do that, please do so. But as I came this morning and thought about how closely everyone is seated, the outstretched arms just isn't going to work for most of you. So if those of you that can't stretch your arms out, just stretch them forward. If an arm is occupied, just stretch out one. And if for some reason you can't do that, just raise your eyes to, in this case, the ceiling. All right, you're probably all wondering, why are we doing this? Well, bear with me. There is a method to my madness always. Sometimes it takes a little longer for it to become clear. At the end of my speech, I'm going to ask all of you to join me with your arms raised in whatever direction that you're able to, or your eyes lifted. And what that represents will become clear to you at that point. My name is Bob Milliken. Pat did a lovely job talking about my involvement in the DD system. And while all of those things are wonderful and nice things, they're not why I'm here. No. They're not why I do what I do for the disability community. They're not the root of my passion. The root of my passion are my two older brothers. I'm the youngest of three children, and both of my older brothers, Ronnie, who was 19 years older than me, and my middle brother, Randy, who was 12 years older than me, were born with developmental disabilities. They are the root of my passion. They are why I do what I do for this community. I told myself I was going to maintain my composure this time. I appreciate you bearing with me. My parents tell the story when I was a young toddler. My two brothers watched out for me like a couple hawks. They wanted to make sure that I didn't get hurt. They wanted to make sure that I did not get myself into trouble. I stand here now not as a toddler, but as a man of 50 years of age, and those who know me, and there are several of you in this room who do know me, know it is a challenge even today to keep me out of trouble. So even today I could use a couple hawks looking out for me. As a hawk, we have done a pretty good job in our system to protect people, to see that they are safe, that they are secure. And while that was okay, while that was adequate in the past, that is no longer enough. People with disabilities want more than simply being cared for, watched out for, and making sure they're safe. I'm going to tell three stories now to kind of illustrate that. The first story is about Tim, a man who was 40 years old with very profound disabilities and limited physical movement. He had never been able to feed himself his entire life. It was always done for him. But some staff decided there's no reason why we can't work with Tim and bring him to a point where he can do that for himself. And they did work with him. And eventually, Tim was able to take that spoon in his hand, to get a spoonful of food from his plate and raise it to his own mouth. Imagine putting yourself in Tim's shoes. What a sense of accomplishment that had to be for him. He no longer had to have that done for him. He could do it for himself. He accomplished an amazing goal, as simple as that may sound. Let me talk about my brothers a bit. They both lived at home for most of their lives. There did come a point in time as my parents got older and were less less able to care for them and their needs increased, that my middle brother Randy moved into a community setting. That was a wonderful opportunity for him. He grew in such tremendous ways. At home, he was very sheltered. He was very protected. He was very safe. But he was overprotected. He didn't have the chance to grow. In that community setting, there were 4 men and 4 women. He began to blossom socially. I can tell you that with the 4 women that were in that home, he began to develop friendships. We won't go into details. Friendships. But that was a wonderful opportunity for my brother. He would never have been able to do that if he had remained living at home with my parents all of his life. The last story. Debbie. She had a typical brother, younger than her. Her parents, as the younger brother grew older, into his teen years, began to teach him how to do those daily tasks that we all take for granted. Cooking, cleaning, laundry, those things that are just part of everyday life. They didn't teach Debbie those same life skills because A, they really didn't think that she was capable, and B, there would always be someone to take care of Debbie. Well, that wasn't good enough for Debbie. I can tell you today, Debbie lives here in the state of Ohio. She has her own apartment. She has her own business. She's a taxpayer. She does all of those things that all of us do every day, the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry. But if it hadn't been for obstacles being removed, if it hadn't been for her dreaming a bigger dream, she never would have attained those goals. People with disabilities are no different than all of us. They have dreams, they have hopes, they have loves, they have things they like, things they don't like, things they want to do, people they want to become. I'm asking all of us in this room to play a part in removing the obstacles and allowing people with disabilities to become everything they want and can be. Together, there are no limits. Today's theme, moving forward, the horizon for the disability community. I'd ask you all now to raise your arms in representation of that hawk. No longer a hawk that's simply going to make sure people are safe, but that hawk is now people with disabilities soaring, reaching their goals, reaching their dreams, and becoming everything that they can be. That is the hawk that we need today. I thank you for allowing me to be here today and share a bit of my passion for the disability community. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you for allowing me to be here.